Alright, so here's the latest harebrained idea. Here's the two original manifolds on the inline 6 and the 960, and they are actually slightly different. The first when I glanced at them I thought they were the same maybe, but you can see that this one actually is lower. See, it starts lower, so I'm not sure if I should get another front one so that they're at the same level, because that's going to be kind of close there. So anyway, for now, I'm going to experiment with this. I haven't welded in a long time. I've never done something like this. You're probably watching this going, why the hell are you trying to weld this onto cast iron? The answer is because fuck it. I mean, that's really the answer. Now this is a piece of exhaust pipe I have knocking around. I'm going to have to use something bigger, I'm sure, but the idea and what I've seen one guy do with an LS manifold, it's really hacky, but we'll try it, is basically cut along the manifold, take a pipe and cut it to fit in such a way that it, you know, completes the manifold, so to speak, and weld it on to the manifold. So eventually what we will have is, now I'm going to have to go with a steeper angle than this, but we'll have two pipes going into one T3 manifold. That's a gasket, but one T3 flange, should I say. This is that one of the things I would have really liked to have done is have a twin scroll turbo, I think is the correct term, where you've got you're separating the first three from the second three cylinders. Well, we'll cut this shit up and see what we can make of it. The first option I was thinking of, as I said, was scalping the heads here and then welding a pipe on the underneath to complete that loop, if you like, complete that pipe and bring it back up around. So it would basically be a pipe that will come out here and up. That's a lot of cutting, a lot of welding, and I'm going to have to like fill in spots here. I guess I could maybe scallop lower. Really, I think that might be a waste of time, or at least a more difficult way of doing it. I'm thinking right now the easiest way to do it is to use the existing outlets. I'm not looking for crazy power, so using the stock headers is fine. I mean, if I make 300-ish out of this, I'll be happy. Really, this is just an exercise of putting a turbo on and all the other stuff and just making it work. So the idea would be to come out of here and come out of here and join on a T3 flange. Again, ideally maintaining the split setup, the bridge setup, even though this turbo is not bridged. You know, I like the idea that I have these two separate channels and that if I ever wanted to use a twin scroll, I could. So one of the things I'm trying to get an answer from people on Turbo Bricks right now is whether I should weld a pipe directly on here and run it back up, and same here where I've got the similar metals, or do I just use this donut piece, which is standard or stock or whatever, and then weld the pipe onto the other side of this donut and run it up. So the idea is, you know, it'll be something like this, right? Maybe a little higher, but the turbo will be here. I got to mock up a little box as well that reflects the size that's under the hood in the engine bay. You can see I already had a go at cutting this. Not here, that's just me practicing welding, because originally I figured I was just going to throw this piece of the manifold out, but I didn't, so I had to do a really nasty weld there. We'll see if that holds. So looking under the hood, I'm definitely going to have to be thoughtful about where I put stuff. These are the transmission cooler pipes. I'm going to reroute those. These generally aren't under a lot of pressure, so I may just use a kind of a reinforced rubber hose. But anyway, I'm going to cut them at the back and loop them up along the I think it's a subframe, or not a subframe, but the frame here, and then route them into the cooler, because I should probably keep the cooler, especially if I'm making a little bit more power. If we move over here, we can see the engine mount is kind of in the way depending on how low I go. I guess it's not so much a turbo that I need to be worried about, because that's probably going to sit up kind of level with the bottom set of bolts for the manifold, I think. I need to be careful about the pipes that are coming off the manifold, the stock manifold. See, there's a bit of an indent here in this, is it a heat shield? Yeah, it's a heat shield that's on top of the engine mount here. I guess we'll probably offset the turbo slightly to the rear. Seems like a good way to go. Maybe the front of it would start just at the fourth cylinder here. We'll see. So some more mocking up to be done. I think the next thing is to get these cooler lines off. So Originally, I'd measured the pipes coming out of the manifold to be somewhere around 1.75, 1 3/4 inches. So I went ahead and started planning the piping based on 1 3/4 inch pipe. And the problem is that seemingly 1 3/4 inch pipe only flows like 110 horsepower. That's the most it can in theory. With two of those, that puts me at 220, and that won't work. So now I got to figure out how I'm going to try and use the stock manifolds, but open them up some. Kind of going down a rabbit hole here, but I'm going to take a cut out of the exhaust manifold here, basically cut the donut flange off and see what size we have there. Maybe we'll end up making something from scratch.